Ever feel like your emotions just kind of hijack your day, like you're stuck in traffic and suddenly, bam, frustration overload? Or you're super bummed when something doesn't go your way?
Happens to the best of us, right?
Totally. But wouldn't it be amazing if we could kind of, I don't know, handle those internal ups and downs with a little more finesse? End up feeling calmer, more in control.
Well, I think that's exactly what we're diving into today. You sent over some super interesting material this Ficanda Gate. It outlines 7 ways to manage emotions, which honestly sounds like a game changer.
Yeah, it's like a toolbox, right? A guide to taking charge of how we feel instead of letting emotions just run the show.
Exactly. And that's our mission for this deep dive, to take these 7 ideas and really unpack them, not just in theory, but like, how can we actually use these techniques in our everyday lives starting today to understand our emotions better and, I guess, maybe even steer them a bit? So, are you ready to jump into point number 1?
Hit me with it.
All right, here it is. Simply change your focus.
Okay, I like it already. Simple. To the point.
Right. And it's powerful. The idea is when you're feeling super irritated, especially, one of the best things you can do is just step away from whatever's triggering you.
Like physically move away.
Yep, just a few steps. The source material really emphasizes that if you try to engage when that anger is at its peak, you're more likely to do or say something you'll regret.
Makes sense. It's like hitting pause before you blow up.
That's a great way to put it. And what they suggest is so simple, just create a little distance. It might sound almost too basic, but they say this small physical act can really make a difference.
So it's not about ignoring the feeling, it's about changing your immediate environment. Interesting. But like, why would just moving a few feet actually help?
That's the fascinating part. It's all about how our bodies react to stress. When you physically remove yourself, you're basically interrupting that fight or flight response that anger triggers. That rush of adrenaline.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling all too well.
Right. Well, this physical shift helps calm that down. It can actually reduce activity in the amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear and anger. Even a short walk can shift your body into a more relaxed state. And then, the source suggests finding something engaging to do.
Oh, like a distraction to shift your mental gears.
Exactly. So point 1 is your go-to when you're about to lose it. Just create some space.
Simple but effective. Okay, what about point 2?
Let's talk about those little everyday annoyances. Like when you misplace something or hit a minor snag in your day.
Oh, tell me about it. I feel like that's my life sometime.
Right. The source material actually uses a great example. Forgetting a pen or your phone. It's like instantly frustrating.
Ugh, yes, the worst.
But their advice is to try and consciously shift how you view that moment.
So instead of getting all worked up about it,
You see it as a chance to connect with someone. You forgot your pen. Well, now you have a reason to chat with a colleague, maybe brighten their day a bit, or even strike up a new conversation.
okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. Turn those little negatives into tiny positives.
You got it. And have you ever noticed how a small shift in perspective can actually change how you feel about something?
You know what? Yeah, sometimes just venting about it to someone helps.
Exactly. It's like tapping into our brain's amazing ability to adapt. Our minds are constantly searching for patterns and meaning. So when we consciously look for a positive interpretation, even in a slightly frustrating situation, we're actually training our brains to be more flexible.
So we're basically rewiring ourselves for positivity. I'm into that.
Right. And those little consistent shifts in perspective can really add up to a more positive overall outlook. Okay, ready for point number 3? This one's foundational.
Lay it on me.
It's all about recognizing your emotions. The source makes it clear that before you can even begin to manage how you feel, you have to be able to accurately pinpoint what you're actually experiencing. Like, are you feeling fear, anger, frustration, maybe even jealousy or happiness?
So it's about putting a name to the feeling.
Exactly. Just naming the emotion can be super powerful.
I guess it makes sense. If you can't identify it, how can you deal with it?
Right. It's like shining a light on something that might otherwise just feel like a vague sense of unease. And once you can say, okay, this is anger or this is sadness, you can start choosing how to respond. You have options. You can decide to stop dwelling on the thought, walk away from a conversation that's getting heated, or even just take a few deep breaths.
So it's not about suppressing the emotion, it's about recognizing it and then choosing how to react or not react.
Precisely. And it's not just about the so-called negative emotions either. Even with positive feelings, like joy or excitement, being aware allows you to decide how you want to express them. You're in control.
That's a really good point. But Honestly, sometimes I have no idea what I'm feeling. It's just this like jumbled mess of emotions. Any advice on how to get better at recognizing them?
Absolutely. The source suggests practices like meditation, which can really help you tune into your internal state. But it could also be as simple as taking a few minutes throughout the day to just check in with yourself and ask, what am I feeling right now?
Okay, so just taking a pause and paying attention.
Exactly. The key is to start somewhere with whatever technique feels doable for you. And it's a skill, so it takes practice. Just begin by acknowledging the emotion without judging it.
Got it. Acknowledge, don't judge. Okay, I can work with that. What's next?
This one's especially relevant in our always connected world. Don't consume too much negative information.
Ooh, that hits close to home.
Right. I mean, think about it.
Mm.
We have access to so much information these days, which is amazing, but the downside is that a lot of it is negative. Bad news, upsetting stories, it's everywhere. And the source points out that constantly engaging with that negativity can really ramp up our stress levels.
Yeah, it's like our brains are constantly on high alert, processing all these potential threats and anxieties. It's exhausting.
It is. So they suggest being really conscious about what you expose yourself to. If you come across something online that makes you feel bad, scroll past it. Close the tab. Protect your mental space. Easier said than done sometimes, though.
For sure. It's so easy to get sucked into the negativity spiral, but you're right. It's like choosing what you feed your mind, just like you choose what you feed your body. What you consume matters. Okay, I'm ready for the next one.
All right, this one's about communication. Transform feelings into words. It's particularly important in those situations where emotions might be simmering beneath the surface.
Oh, like at work when you feel like you're being overlooked or someone's constantly disrespecting your time.
Exactly. The source emphasizes that bottling up those feelings of frustration or being ignored isn't healthy in the long run. Those unexpressed emotions can fester and come out in less constructive ways later.
So instead of just stewing in your anger.
Speak up, but not in a, explosive way. The
Okay.
key is to clearly and calmly communicate how you're feeling and what you'd like to see change.
So setting healthy boundaries, I like it.
Right. The goal is to create understanding, not more conflict. By expressing your feelings in a thoughtful way, with clear explanation of why you feel the way you do, you give the other person a chance to see your perspective and hopefully adjust their behavior. It's about respect, both ways.
Okay, communication is key. Makes sense. What's next on our list?
This one's about managing expectations. Don't expect others to be exactly as you think. It's huge for minimizing stress in our relationship.
Oh, I can see that. I mean, we all have these ideas about how people should act, and when they don't, it can be really disappointing.
Right. And the Force points out that a lot of that expectation, even before we know the outcome of something, can be a major source of stress. Think about competitive situations or even gambling. The expectation of a specific result immediately creates tension, but it particularly highlights the stress we put on ourselves by expecting others to behave in a certain way.
And that's so tough because people are just, well, people. They're unpredictable.
Exactly. We're all different. We have our own unique emotional makeups and ways of responding to the world. So the advice here is to consciously limit those expectations.
Easier said than done, I imagine.
It definitely takes effort. But instead of trying to control how others act, the focus should be on what you can control. Your own actions, your own responses. As the source puts it, just focus on doing your part well. And it really emphasizes this idea of personal autonomy. What others think or do is their business. It's about recognizing those boundaries between what you can influence and what you can't.
That's such a good point. It's about focusing on your own sphere of control,
Yeah.
right? And letting go of the need to control everyone else. Okay, what's our final point?
This one's especially helpful in tricky work situations. Focus on doing your best instead. The source uses the example of having a boss who's often irritable or unpredictable.
Oh, I think we've all been there at some point.
Right. It's so easy to get caught up in their mood,
Mm.
trying to figure them out, letting it affect your own well-being. The advice here is to shift your energy. Focus on the quality of your own work. Do your absolute best and let that be your anchor.
So it's about taking control of what you can control.
Exactly. And it's about being proactive. If you're facing challenges, reach out to colleagues for advice. If you need to have a potentially tough conversation with your boss, maybe consider asking a respected third party to help mediate. It's about having a plan.
And the core message is, no matter what's going on around you, focus on excelling at your tasks. It's a really powerful way to stay grounded and positive, even in a difficult environment.
That's it. and it prevents you from getting bogged down in negativity that's not yours to own. The source emphasizes that other people's emotions are, well, theirs. Trying to manage them is often a recipe for burnout. So focus on what you can do, deliver amazing work.
Wow, that's a lot to unpack. 7 really powerful strategies for managing our emotional world. As we wrap this up, what's your biggest takeaway?
For me, it's this. We're not powerless against our emotions. We have choices. We can learn skills, use techniques, and actively shape how we respond to the world around us. And it's not about becoming emotionless robots. It's about becoming more skillful navigators of our inner landscapes.
I love that. It's about empowerment. And for you listening, hopefully this deep dive has sparked some ideas. Which of these 7 approaches really speaks to you right now? Maybe there's 1 or 2 you're ready to experiment with.
Yeah, think about it. What small change could you make in your daily routine that might have the biggest positive impact on how you experience and manage your emotions? What one thing are you going to try? It's an ongoing journey, and even small steps can make a big difference.